Welcome. I'm so glad you're here, friend. You're listening to The Connected Calm Life. And this is a special episode. And I'm thrilled to be sharing this episode with you called Time Takes Time. And I'm gathered here with 4 of my besties. And you've listened to them on the podcast before. But today we're going to go deeper into topics that perhaps will help you on your emotional wellness journey and in your recovery. So today I'm being joined by Alysse Bryson, Amy Liz Harris, Katherine Just, and Kristina Dennis. Hello, beautiful friends.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh,
Hello.
Elise, you want to kick us off?
sure. I'm so happy to be here this morning, Lane. My name is Alysse Bryson. I hail from the great, beautiful Emerald City of Seattle, and I am the founder of the Sober Curator, which is a lifestyle blog that curates content specifically for those living an alcohol-free life. My sobriety date is May 1st, 2006.
Beautiful, thank you. And Amy.
Hi, everybody. I'm Amy Liz Harrison, and I am the author of Eternally Expecting, a mom of 8 gets sober and gives birth to a whole new life, her own. And my sobriety date is April 23rd, 2011. And I am just overjoyed and thrilled to be here. Thanks.
Thanks, Amy. And Kristina.
Hi, I'm Kristina Dennis, and I'm a recovery coach and expert in breaking codependent patterns. I'm a mother, and my sobriety date is May 6th, 1997. Elise, we're May babies together. Yay.
And Katherine.
Hi, I'm Katherine Just. I'm in Los Angeles. I'm a single mama of a little dude named Max, who's 12 years old and has Down syndrome. I'm an artist, photographer, entrepreneur, activist, spiritual guide. And my sobriety date is August 18th, 1987.
Beautiful. And my name is Lane Kennedy, and I am the Calm Coach. My sober date is 12/31/1996. I am forever grateful for that date. So this panel is been curated. I'm thrilled to have each of these women with me today to share about their journey in recovery. And I've collected some questions. We're going to go around talking about what it means to be in long-term recovery. What are the obstacles, the challenges, and how do we thrive in sobriety? So we're going to kick it off with what were your top 3 values in early recovery? And then we're going to fast forward to your values now. Anybody want to start with that one? Because for me, my values in early recovery were like, let's have fun. I got to have fun because I was dying. But I'm still carrying that value of fun today. And I'm super grateful for that. Elise, did you have values when you first got sober?
I have values when I first got sober? It's a really good question. Well, I valued coffee, and I was not that particular of how good it was, because I drank a lot of really bad coffee in the beginning. I think what I valued the most was my relationship with my son. He was a big motivator for me to get sober. And I noticed when you were all doing introductions, you all talked about being a mom, and I didn't. And that shows you I'm annoyed with my son today. And so that's why I didn't bring him up. But I think the value was just, I valued not being hungover on Saturday mornings or on Tuesday mornings or any morning really. And I valued trying to do things differently, but I didn't have any idea what that meant.
Yeah, it was a new concept. Like I didn't understand values until I was probably 20 years sober. Kristina?
Absolutely. I was thinking I valued not being scared. That
Yeah.
was a big one. I valued not losing time, knowing exactly where I was the night before, knowing exactly what I said. I was trying to value an honest way of living, because that had seemed to be one of the things that I was being taught. You know, I was trying to be in my body, but frankly, I was still chasing accomplishments and determining my value by other people's opinions. But I definitely enjoyed not being hungover. I enjoyed not stealing somebody's boyfriend. I enjoyed not sleeping with people I didn't know, you know, all of those things, and felt really good about it.
That's like the beginning of our self-esteem journey,
Yeah.
right? When we get here, we're kind of like just tore up so much, and then like not sleeping with somebody's partner,
Right.
epic,
It's huge.
huge. Yeah, Catherine, how
Yeah.
about you? You got sober really young, so let's hear about, you know, what that was like. Did you even identify with a value?
Well, when you said that, I'm like, well, my value was fuck this shit. Like, seriously, fuck this shit. It was 1987, so I had big hair. So Aquanet Super Extra Hold hairspray was a value.
Yes.
Big bangs, wearing all black was a value. I was just angry. I was angry at everybody, every person, place, thing. And I had, you know, it still wasn't about me yet. But I didn't want to die. Like I heard a voice in my head that said, there's more to this life than what you're living. And that was it. That was the leader and it still is. So I don't know about values yet. I didn't have any. You add alcohol and I don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
So.
And I love that you just brought in the hairspray, because I was, what is that show? The Sex and the City just came into play
Just like
again.
that.
Right, just like that, right? And so I was sent back in time to my early recovery, where I got sober with Carrie and like lived with the fashion and the hair and the lipstick and the MAC lipstick. Like that was my value. Like I had to have lipstick on my
Yes.
every moment.
Yes.
How about you, Amy? What was going on with you?
Well, I was busy watching copious amounts of episodes of Intervention and trying to convince myself that I wasn't as bad as the people on that show. I was probably okay. So I had a lot of justification going on when I first got sober, and or when I was reaching my bottom, I guess. And so in terms of values, when I just, you know, finally got to the point where I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, the big deal for me was just to get out of trouble. At that point, you know, I had legal issues. I had to build consistency into my life, and I wasn't used to that at all. I was used to just kind of doing, you know, spontaneous, crazy things and tugging my children along with me. And then I guess the other thing I would say is just, you know, starting to get comfortable with being uncomfortable and realizing that that was okay. That was a really big deal for me, to not worry so much about what other people thought.
I think that's constant,
Mm-hmm.
right? How about anybody else? Like anybody still worrying about what other people are thinking of you?
Never.
We're not supposed to worry about that? I'm confused.
I know.
Oh, I think as we move through our sober years and we discover ourselves, like a myriad of things occur. And I want to get to one thing over the years that has been profound to your recovery. And perhaps you thought, oh, I'm going out on this. Has there been something really challenging in your life over the years? What is it? And did you think a drink would make it better?
I definitely had that in my 7th year. My son was born. And, you know, I felt like he was the promises, right? I had done everything in the right order. I'd gotten married before I got pregnant. I had moved in after we were married. We had bought a home. We had a 401k, and then his diagnosis of autism came. And I really, really had to sit and face my anger, because up until that point, I still thought being a good girl is what kept me safe. I still believed that if I did all these good things and was of service and did the right things and stayed sober, that nothing bad was going to happen to me. And it was the strangest thing to have the most painful thing that happened to me in the package of the most beautiful thing that happened to me. And I had a choice. I could go out, but I knew that would only complicate things. I could try to take the edge off. But I knew that would only make me less of a mother. And instead I dug into my sobriety and realized I had to become even more connected to a higher power, to a God. And I needed to learn the lessons that were necessary within this. And, he's 17 now, but it was the most beautiful thing and the hardest thing that I've ever had to do.
Giving birth. I mean, we're all moms here. That was a game changer. Anybody else have that game-changing moment?
Yep.
Like, I thought I was going to die. Seriously, for 2 years of his life, I thought I'm pulling the plug on this one. Anybody?
Yes.
Well, I was going to say I gave birth and found out my son had Down syndrome 20 minutes after he was born. And
20 minutes?
20 minutes.
That's what it
Yeah,
took.
I wasn't looking at the clock at the time, but it was 20 minutes. And I didn't know what that meant because of how people with Down syndrome have been treated up to that point. They just get taken away or put away or given away or whatever. And so I didn't know what that meant, but I don't know that was the most painful moment in my recovery, but it definitely was up there. But I want to say that I have not thought about drinking as a way to leave the intensity of the pain that occurs in my life.
Yeah.
I think of not being here anymore because I just go right to that because I already know what drinking does and I don't want to do that. Mm-hmm. It doesn't appeal to me. The craving was lifted when I got sober. The only time I got jealous of people drinking was Sex in the City when they were drinking. I got sober when I was 18. I had no idea what it was like to order a drink at a bar. Like I don't have that. I didn't have like friends that got together all the time and had the pink drink in the pretty glass. So I felt a little like, wow, what was that like? But the question really about taking the edge off with the drink doesn't occur to me, but it gets darker than that. And I think that it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I love that you said that because that reminds me of, the feeling I had, which was I don't want to die, but I didn't want to live anymore.
Yeah.
And that feels even scarier than death.
Right.
For me, I think that the biggest change in starting to find my way and find my path in recovery is that when those times hit, I have tools now. And I just didn't have any tools before getting sober. I just kind of floated my way through life and thought people were going to just help me out if I smiled at them and gave them some kind of, BS excuse or whatever. And really just did not have a sense of life unfolding in my favor. And what I mean by that is maybe it's not always going to go the way I think it should go. And so I think I just kind of had to surrender to over and over again, so many of those challenges that kept coming up and just kind of going, okay, I don't understand why this is happening and I may never, but it's happening. And so, that is kind of what helped introduce me to meditation and yoga and all of the various, tools at our disposal. And we have so many. And then, the fellowship opportunities in getting to share those tools with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Can I say something about that? because I think that's such a really good point, that when I get to that place of darkness and it gets dark, really, it's like in 0.5 seconds, I'm down the rabbit hole of doom. I'm so good at it. I think we're all here can relate to that. And then I think, oh, like right past that, I have a little smirk inside of me, like, this is a contraction before some expansion. I don't even know what's going to happen, but it better be good, because this sucks right now.
Yeah.
And so, and I have like evidence of that through my recovery, that like every single time I'm on my knees, so to speak, that there is something that I couldn't have ever fathomed or imagined would become my life, or become a deeper part of how I am in the world, that I didn't think was possible. So in the same way, like we have these tools, but one of them is awareness of having longer term recovery. We get to see the result of not choosing over and over again to take ourselves out in whatever way that we would do that, which I think is the great gift of having a little bit more time, is that knowing